Hi, Spring fans. Welcome to another installment of Spring Tips. I have an extra special installment for you this week. I've just come from Barcelona, Spain, from the amazing Spring I/O event, and I did a keynote with my friend Christian Tzolov. He's a core member of the Spring AI team, in which we introduced the wonderful Spring AI project. And so, rather than having a normal episode this week, I'm just going to play for you that keynote, and I got permission to do so from the Spring I/O conference from the team there. Um, I want to, I want to first of all encourage all of you to check out their channel, right, which is here, to make sure you like and subscribe and look for all the other videos that are streaming, including the rest of the keynote. Right, this is actually a hour-long plus affair, of which the Spring AI section was just 20-ish minutes. I'd also like to remind you, please, that you should save the date for next year's event, right? Coming on the 21st to the 23rd of May, 2025. So 21 May is the workshops, and then 22 and 23 May are the conference days proper. Friends, thank you, Spring IO, for an amazing show, for having us, and for giving us this platform. If you're watching and you're enjoying, you should definitely go patronize their YouTube channel and the conference itself. You shouldn't miss it. It's beautiful. I mean, you know how I know it's good? It's in Barcelona, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, and yet nobody left. We're all in this amazing city, this beautiful city of Barcelona, Spain, and yet none of us left the venue. We were also enamored by the conference and by the activity and the energy there. That's how you know it's a good show, right? If you can keep people on a warm, sunny day in Barcelona away from the warm, sunny day in Barcelona and focused on screens with other people, you've done something really, really special. And they did that indeed. So, friends, again, thank you. Enjoy the keynote. I'd love to see what you think. Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, as always, and we'll see you next week.
All right, good. After you. So excited.
Cool. So I'm part of the core member of the Spring AI team. My work focuses around distributed system, distributed data, data engineering, AI, and mentioning AI. We are here today to make the argument that AI is here to stay. If you don't take our word for granted, please check the recent IDC report called The Business Opportunities of AI. Among other things, it states that apparently over 70% of the organizations already use some form of AI, which is quite impressive number.
Yeah.
I'm surprised myself. Yeah, you can check the URL if you want to verify the reports. But there is another thing. The survey mentions that it's global, and being a European skeptic, I wonder if this is the same type of global like the World Series of baseball. Yeah, keep in mind that NL doesn't stand for Netherlands in this list. Yeah.
Global.
It's a global. So if AI is so powerful and so popular, what are the main use cases and main enterprise opportunities where it's being used? Apparently there is plenty. We can argue that any domain has been affected with AI. Particularly, I'm biased, I really like the idea of using generative AI for software development. But most importantly, if you look through most of those use cases, you'd realize that they boil down to integrating your application APIs and your application data with AI and customize it for your domain.
So wait, so if those are the good use cases, and there seem to be many, what are some of the bad ones?
Actually, I'm surprised you're asking this, Josh, because it's obviously fruit.
Fruit.
Yeah, I believe that
Why didn't that advance when we pushed the button? Oh, there we go. There's a huge lag. Like that was Slack loading time. Look at that. Okay. Yeah. Anyway,
pick your new favorite fruit now, so it's quite trendy.
So name the 10 fruits that end with ums, and it gave us bananums.
I don't know Latin, but
it sounds like Latin bananas. I don't know. Yeah.
It's very sophisticated. This is the latest OpenAI model, so it must be.
I love the tweet. It says, ChatGPT 4.0 is amazing. It's AGI, exclamation mark, exclamation mark.
It is. But okay, if AI is here to stay, what actually it takes to be doing AI in reality? So is it supposed to look like something that is going to come in a second?
Wow, that is so awkward.
Yeah, it takes some time. So this really looks like a NASA control center, and in fact, this was the DeepMind AlphaGo team that was flown in as a Formula One team to beat the world champions in Go, as they did. And as a matter of fact, it was the same DeepMind team that published the founding paper for generative AI, which is called Attention is All You Need. And you need attentions and a lot of walkie-talkies.
Walkie-talkies. You know things are serious when there's walkie-talkies involved.
No question about this, so that's how it goes. But we can make the argument that it shouldn't be that complicated. After all, generative AI, using generative AI is integration problem, and guess what? Java is really shining in this domain. This guy may know a thing or two about how to use,
Whoops.
and this is
5 minutes later.
Okay, I'll be slow. Take it easy.
Like he pushed the button a week ago. Hey, there you go, okay.
I'm not touching anything, so this is the guy I'm mentioning, but he might know about things or two of using Java for real world business purposes.
A thing, yeah, I think he's got an idea.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a great language for developing Gen AI apps. Don't need to use Python. It's communicating with models with HTTP is easy in any language, right?
And that's
Okay, wait for it.
back in time. Okay, here. So Python is here to stay. It has its very well niche purpose, but Java is not hypothetically rising. It's really rising, and as of recently, it has become one of the top languages for the customers of Azure OpenAI. And it's not only Microsoft that likes it. So what you're supposed to see is the recommended enterprise stack from Google, as presented during the Google Cloud Next earlier this year. Hopefully it will show up. I don't know.
It's incredible.
Okay, here it
There
is.
you go.
So, okay, Josh, this stage looks intimidatingly huge.
Yeah.
But there is something very important. I think what I like is the recognizable logo on top of this stack.
Right, and those are full-sized adults in the bottom for context, right?
Yeah, so.
This stage is big. That was a stadium, and there's Spring.
And there is Spring. And indeed, oh, that was smart move.
Yeah.
Unintentional, but maybe it's getting intelligent, you know? So, but indeed, Spring AI is this missing piece in the Spring stack that helps you to do AI engineering. We believe that it is conceptually easy to comprehend. It provides some high-level key service abstractions for vector stores and AI models. It covers the most common patterns for doing AI. And we believe that any Spring developer should feel like right at home using Spring AI. And when I mention Spring developer, the developer, Josh, let's see how this works.
Okay, I'd be happy to show you.
Appreciate it, Joachim.
Thank you. First of all, big round of applause for Christian. Not just an amazing presenter, a huge part of the core Spring AI team. We would not be here without him. That's no exaggeration. Huge, huge. A legend. All right. So I don't know what was going on with the signal there. If I switch back, it's fine with that. That's bizarre as heck. All right, so friends, Christian and I were talking about what we could do to better demonstrate Spring AI. And obviously we thought, well, we could always go back to type and revisit the famed Spring Pet Clinic. And we thought, well, we don't want to actually revisit the app proper, amazing though it is. We want to just revisit the theme of it. And you know, pets are really near and dear to both of our hearts. All of us, I expect, appreciate pets. And me in particular, I have a dog. And I'll be honest with you, my dog's terrible. Just the worst dog. The worst dog. He's a little furry fascist, a tiny tyrant who runs around the house like he owns the place, and he puts little rubber duckies all over the place, and if you step on the rubber ducky, you can expect to lose a foot. He's not a good dog, but you know, we love him, but he's not a good dog, and he kind of reminds me of this dog. This is a dog named Prancer that this person was trying to find a new home for during the pandemic, and she described the dog like this. She described it as a vessel for a traumatized Victorian child that now haunts our home, right? And said that there's not a very big market for neurotic, man-hating, animal-hating, children-hating dogs that look like gremlins, right? So it reminds me of my dog, right? And so you might be asking, why? Why do you have such a dog? And I'll tell you a couple reasons. They are pretty selfish. The first reason is ego, if I'm honest. I am not very smart. In my family, my partner and my daughter both speak 5 languages. But 3.5. And so if the dog wasn't there, I would be the stupidest thing in the house. we have to have that dog. Very important, very important. Also, he is cute. Look at that. That's a cute dog. Evil, but cute, right? So let's build an example that kind of speaks to some of the awesome opportunities here. And as always, we're going to do this by visiting my second favorite place on the internet, start.spring.io. And we're going to build a new service, and I'm going to call this service Service. You know why I'm going to call it Service? Because I'm amazing with names. Amazing. I get that from my father. My father was amazing with names. When I was a small boy, we had a small white dog, and my father named him White Dog. Amazing with names. Amazing. That said, my mom, she tells me all the time, she says, "You're very lucky that I named you." And yeah, that's probably true. Okay, so we're gonna call this Service. We're gonna use these versions of Java and Spring Boot and all that kind of stuff. We're gonna add GraalVM, of course. We're gonna add the web support. We're gonna add the PG vector support. This is one of many different vector databases that you could add, but this one happens to be compatible with Postgres. It is Postgres. We're gonna use Spring Data JDBC right here, and we're going to use the OpenAI integration. Now, there are many different model integrations here. We're using OpenAI. You could use Amazon's Bedrock. You could use Google's Gemini. You could use, if you want to do air-gapped, offline, completely internet-free Olama. Lots of different choices there. Does that look about right? Did I get everything in there?
Yeah, Amazon, yeah, okay.
Everything, let's just do it, YOLO, okay? So we're going to hit Enter, and I've already got this. I've got a database running in the background here with a bunch of dogs that we want to put up for adoption. So if you select all from dogs where I like Prancer, you can see we have a demonic, neurotic, man-hating, animal-hating, children-hating dog that looks like gremlins, right? And this dog deserves a home. All dogs, even bad dogs, deserve good homes. So we want to build a little facility to support that use case. And to start with, of course, we have to plug in some configuration. So we'll do that here. Okay, so application.properties, paste that in. Okay, so I've just specified some connectivity information. I've also specified that we want to use the ChatGPT 4.0 model. This is very important. You don't want to use the old and busted 3.5 anymore. And we got virtual threads. What else? I want to now actually talk to my LLM. So I'll create an application that uses the new chat client, right? How many of you have had a chance to try the new chat client in Spring AI 1.0 M1? All right. Good stuff. The rest of you, what are you doing? What are you doing? All right, so builder.build, all right? This looks pretty familiar, right? If you've ever used any other builders, the JDBC client, the web client, the REST client, etc., they all have this basic same motif. And then we're going to create an application runner to demonstrate its usage, right? So I'll say return new application. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to inject the chat client. I'm going to use it to make a request of our LLM. It's going to work, by the way, but only because I have specified an OpenAI API key, but you don't see it here, friends, because I, off-screen, have exported an environment variable and then put that there before I started the process. Forgive me for not leaking my API credential, okay? Just trust that it's been done. All right, so we've got the AI, and I want to make a simple request, prompt user, and I'm going to ask it a very simple question. What am I going to ask it? Well, I'm going to ask it to tell us a story, okay? So var query, prompt, whatever, user, text, here we go. And I'm going to do it in Spanish, but I'll read this for you in English. I'm saying, "Dear API, please tell me a story about the people in the beautiful city of Barcelona, Spain, and do so in the style of the famous author of books for kids, Dr. Seuss," one of my favorite doctors, along with Dr. Pollack, the founder of Spring AI, and Dr. Subramaniam, and a bunch of others. And then I say, "Cordially, Josh," okay? So I'm going to put that query in there, and I'll say call, and I'll get the content, and then we'll just print out the results. Now, I'm going to go ahead and run this, and let's see what we get, okay? Whoops, consider defining a bean of type chat model. Oh, I forgot I didn't add OpenAI. That seems important. Yeah. Oh, thank goodness for the Spring initializer. Here we go. Command-Shift-I, let's go. Take 5, okay? Up and running, making a network call. And by the way, let's see, making a network call. Getting the response, maybe. It's taking its time. This is a reason to remember, you want virtual threads. For non-blocking I.O., you don't want to be sitting there waiting, okay? So there we go. There's, the response, it rhymes. If you can't read Spanish, well, I'm so sorry, lo siento. But en la ciudad de Barcelona, junto al mar azul, right? And it's a poem, it's a story that rhymes about Barcelona, which is awesome. Now, friends, you might be asking me, hey, why are you so polite? Dear AI, cordially, Josh, right? And the reason is because I have seen the documentary called Terminator, and I know that the machines will not forget nor soon forgive our transgressions. We've got this nice response, but again, this has very little to do with our ambitions about setting up a pet store to support adoption of dogs and cats and the like. So what we're going to do is we're going to make our chat client a little bit smarter. We're going to give it a prompt so that it knows to act in the persona of an assistant supporting the process of adopting a pet, okay? So I'm going to specify a default resource pointing to this new prompt, this new system prompt. So I'll say resource, okay, system at value, class path, system.md, MD, and I'm going to copy and paste here this system prompt into the class path. So source, main resources, here we go, new system.md, paste that in, and it's going to say, you are an AI-powered assistant to help people adopt a dog from the adoption agency named Spring Pets Emporium with locations in Barcelona and Madrid, Spain. If you don't know about the dogs housed at our particular stores, then return a disappointed response suggesting that we don't have anything available. Okay, so we're going to use that here. We're going to inject it as a resource, just put that in there. And now I'm going to change the question that I ask. I say, do you have any neurotic dogs? Question mark, right? Okay, let's see what it gives us in response, all right? So up and running, go, go, go. It says, I'm sorry, but we don't have any information about the specific dogs housed at Spring's Pet Emporium at the moment. However, you're welcome to visit our locations in Barcelona or Madrid to speak with our staff who can help match you with a dog that suits your needs and preferences. So already, we're getting somewhere. It doesn't know about our inventory, our catalog, our guest list of cute dogs, but at least it's acting like it should, right? It's in the persona of that. And that's because we gave it this system context that informs how it does everything else, okay? This governing overall context. So now I think we need to connect it to our database, right? But we can't just connect it straight to our SQL table, right? It's not really great for AI, is it?
No, you really have to have more semantic database that you can use for this.
Right, okay, so that means vector stores, I think, right?
That's correct.
And we have it's just another core abstraction. He talked about it earlier. There's a vector store interface, and there are like, what, half dozen implementations in Spring AI already?
And counting.
And counting, yeah. So we're gonna inject our vector store, okay? Vector store. And we also need to create a little domain so that we can actually talk to our SQL database. So I'll create a record here for our domain type, name, string, description, all right, like so. Okay, and we're going to say @ID, good. And we're going to create an interface, dog repository, extends list of CRUD repository. This, by the way, you know, just an FYI, just a little context here. This is another project that Spring AI founder and lead Dr. Pollack used to lead, which is Spring Data. Fun. Okay, so we're going to use that dog repository here. Dog repository. Okay. By the way, doesn't that just sound cute? Like imagine a repository of dogs. Just the cutest thing. Okay, so, because I'm just imagining like a ball of fur and cuteness like staring at me, right? So we're going to say repository.findAll for each dog. Okay, then we're going to create a document, okay, new document, and we're going to store this in the, let's see, name, colon, comma, description, colon. I'm going to say dog.description, and we're going to put the name here as well, so dog.name, okay, voila. And then we're going to provide some metadata that helps us sort of trace back the data to the source document, or the source record here, and then we're just going to write that into the vector store, like so. So add list of document. And by the way, we can all agree this should be document, okay? All right, good. All right, so let's go ahead and we've got the data in the vector store now. Now we need to connect our LLM and our chat client to that vector store. So I'm gonna advise it by adding a default advisor, okay? New question answer advisor. I'm gonna inject the vector store here, and I'm going to pass that in here. I'm going to say, when you talk to the vector store, use the default search type, okay? And now I'm going to ask it the same question, but it's going to know to consult that vector store for information, okay? So I guess I can just put enter there. So here we go. Let's rerun this. It's going to do ingest. When the program starts up, it'll do a little bit of ingest and write the data out. So here we go. Run. Up, 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 up. There we go. I knew I had a problem. All right, good. Here we go. Where are you, buddy? There you are, new question advisor, okay. There you go. Yes, we do have a neurotic dog named Prancer. Prancer is described as a demonic, neurotic, man-hating, animal-hating, children-hating dog that looks like a gremlin. If you're interested in meeting Prancer or learning more about him, please let us know. So now our AI code knows about our data, right? Look, friends, this is not PHP. We don't write unnecessary code for no reason. I woke up this morning, I said, I'm gonna write a RAG pipeline. I wrote one line of code, and now my LLM knows about my data. What did you do today, right? So this is pretty good, but I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to take this dog home with me. The question then is, how do we schedule a pickup? And then that's the most important part, right? The finish line is actually taking the dog with. So I want to give our LLM a little bit of a executive agency. I want it to be able to help us schedule a pickup for this dog, right? And so we're going to do that by introducing a function, okay? So function, description, schedule a pickup for dog adoptions, okay? Does that look right? And we're going to create a bean. We're going to actually create a record here, pet adoption pickup request for the dog name, blah. And then here's the response telling us when, string when, okay? And then the function will work in terms of these two input and output types. So pet, blah, 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 response, okay? And schedule pet adoption pickup, okay? Return new function. And I'm just gonna say, okay, got a request, here we are, pet, blah. And we're gonna say return new pickup response. I'm gonna just say now. You should write right now because our keynote time is nearly over. Here we go. Pass that there. And I'm gonna now tell our chat client about this new function, this tool that it has at its disposal by instructing it, by telling it about it. So default functions, et voila, okay? So now I'm gonna change the prompt, not to, do you have a dog of this type, but when can I pick up Prancer, right? When can I pick up Prancer? Okay? Look good? Let's rerun this one more time.
Congrats, you're close to get it home.
Almost there.
So you're about to have two evil dogs.
Maybe they'll cancel each other out. Maybe two wrongs do make a right. Let's see what we get here. There we go. Because remember, it's going to the internet there. So it says, got a request. Pick up the request. Name Prancer. You can pick up Prancer. You can pick up Prancer on May 30th at 8:49 a.m. I think we did it. I think we have ourselves a pet clinic, right? Friends, this has been a lot of fun. I think we went from nothing and we got something really sophisticated in very little time. Indeed. Who learned something new? All right. Who had fun? All right. I'm glad to hear it.
I did.
We had fun too. Don't forget to come to the good Christian and Dr. Pollack's session later today on Spring AI if you want to get the 411 and everything that we didn't get to cover here. What time? It's like the last one, right?
I think, yeah, 7:30.
At this very room.
15:30, yeah.
Okay.
5:30.
Muchísimas gracias, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.